Hey guys, give me like a few seconds. Few seconds. Chance, I see you. What's going on? Alrighty. Hello, 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 hello. Sorry guys, sorry for being late. Um, I was checking out some of the stuff in Battlefield, doing controller settings. I was also trying to still look up stuff for packet loss, all that stuff. That's what I was doing the whole time. So I apologize for being late. I didn't even realize the time. So, so what? It was at ish. Let's see here. Uh, oh yeah, the daily lurks now. Those work now. So, anybody that is lurking, it's the same thing as the daily check-ins. I did those last night. So basically, if you are, like, if you want to daily, if you lurk or whatever, if you want to redeem a channel point saying that you're lurking, or I could just say, well, check-in would be the same thing as like, I'm here or something like that. But the daily lurk is just like the daily check-in. Check-in is just like, hey, how's it going? Checking in, being here and stuff like that, which is cool. Again, it's just one channel point. The daily lurk is just like, people that come in and like, say for instance, they don't want to do check-in, but then like they are lurking, and if they want to do the lurk thing, they totally can too. So, I thought that was, something interesting to put in for the channel, and also it gives a little alert, so you guys saw it when it popped up, for the lurk. So I thought that was pretty cool. Also, I need to do my. Like, I haven't been doing my check-ins. Let me do my check-ins. See. Go ahead. Boom. There you go. See, like I even perform my J check-in. I'm only at 5. And also when people do it, like if they have like a watch streak or something like that, it works too. That watch streak can work too. Let me see here. All right, battle. Oh wait. I forgot. Let me see. Because it's Wednesday, my dudes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is Wednesday. Oh, yeah, it is Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday. So it looks like we're gonna be doing not a long stream, but we're gonna be doing a second stream later today. Yeah, because we got EWC. We have EWC CS2 for the remainder of this week. So, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so EWC for the remainder of the week. CS. I don't even know. I don't even know if I should be doing the. Hey, Team Liquid's on, and they're doing world's first raid. That's cool. But yeah. We're doing all that stuff. Anyway, anywho. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked of everything. All right, so we got a video that I want to react to. We're just watching is Young Yeah. It's about the former CEO of PlayStation, because we haven't talked about game industry stuff in a while. Former CEO of PlayStation talking about physical games and how he basically said he favors digital. He favors digital games and stuff, and kind of downplays the whole physical game thing. And this got a few people riled up, and I want to check that out. So go ahead and get there and check this out. Oh, look at that! That's me. Anyway, this is from Young Yeah. You guys all know Young Yeah. If you guys are fans of the channel, you guys already know. I'm sorry, let me pop. While this is playing, I'm gonna be cleaning my glasses. So, but yeah, if you guys do, actually, what we'll do is right now, I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna put this in the chat right now. Boom. Yeah. So put that in the chat. Oh, also, I forgot to say, side note, sound alerts, right? Sound alerts for, I had to take out the headshot one because it's copyright. Music's copyright. So the stream yesterday kind of got demacked. Anyway, let's check this out. And see what is going on with PlayStation.
Shuhei Yoshida is widely considered to be a very respected former executive at PlayStation. When he was running things, that was a golden era for PlayStation. And, his contributions to the games industry, nothing to scoff at. With all that said, one of his latest takes I woefully disagree with, and I think just highlights lack of empathy towards people who want physical games to remain and who want consumer rights to be something that is more respected and something that is taken more seriously. And for those who don't know who Shuhei Yoshida is, you may remember him from this iconic video right here, the official PlayStation used.
Oh no, that makes it worse.
He completely pwned Xbox back in the day when Xbox One was trying to make everything DRM, everything online, and basically make it so that discs cannot be traded and sold and whatnot. And PlayStation and Shuhei Yoshida.
And that's how you know it was all about the money. Yes, I get it. It's a business and everything, but don't try to bullshit everybody and say, we're here for you. This is for you. Like, now this just makes that look even worse. Because at first it was like, man, you guys had this commercial where you guys owned Xbox and everything, blah, blah, blah. But now you're like, now it comes up to one of the people in the video is downplaying physical games. And he was the one that was talking about in the commercial the physical games.
Came out with the following video.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
PlayStation.
This is iconic, y'all. In the games industry history, this right here is one of those pivotal moments that practically won PlayStation the war for this generation of consoles. We're talking about a video that over the years has garnered over 21 million views. Though right now, of course, with Sony having announced the end of physical media for PlayStation, people are talking about how this didn't age quite so well and are talking about the irony of this being a major promotional aspect of PlayStation.
It was aging pretty well, and then when they did the announcement, it got bad. And then when Yoshida said something about physical games, it got worse. That's pretty much what happened.
4, fast forward to PlayStation 5, and they're basically pulling an Xbox where, you know, through the eradication of physical media, they completely eliminate the secondhand market. They completely eliminate any semblance of ownership and preservation. And so people are really pissed at PlayStation. And given that Shuhei Yoshida was a part of that video, people would hope that if Shuhei Yoshida talks about this topic, that he would be on the side of consumer protections and on the side of physical media being something valuable to the industry.
Nope.
But instead, he kind of went the opposite route, which is just really disappointing to see. So right here we have this interview that Shuhei Yoshida did with Gamer Braves, in which he talked about various aspects and facets of the games industry. And among the questions that were raised was about Sony's decision to end physical media starting January of 2028. When he was asked whether he knew about such plans, he said, well, I didn't know they were planning that. But he said that, I mean, it doesn't affect me personally, and I don't see what the big deal is, basically.
But personally, I'm a totally digital consumer. Because of convenience, I guess. I don't want to manage disc or swap disc. I want all my games on my dashboard, and I just select the game and play it. So I'm completely digital. Until your account gets hacked, unless it gets terminated or anything like that, then guess what? All your games don't mean anything because you can't play them.
He said, quote, but personally, I'm totally a digital consumer. I don't want to manage discs or swap discs. I want all my games on my dashboard, and I just select a game and play it. So I'm completely digital. That's all well and good. I'm not saying people don't have the right to go fully digital if that's what they want to do. What is being argued is the complete removal of options, the complete removal of choice. All other mediums right now, music, movies, print media, they have some kind of physical form. And sure, and
yeah, they basically have consumer choice.
a lot of those mediums, digital dominates, but people still have the option to buy physical, to buy vinyls for music or CDs and the like, or they have the option to buy Blu-rays for their favorite films, or to actually buy the books that they want to read. And even if digital is dominant, it doesn't mean that there aren't people who still enjoy that side of things, the physical aspect of things, and that it isn't still enough of a market that it's still worth preserving on some level. It doesn't have to be eradicated completely. But PlayStation and Sony in particular, the higher ups there, insist that just physical needs to go away entirely. And when it comes to physical games, Shuhei Yoshida had this to say. Even with physical games, in most cases, developers are constantly updating and adding game data anyway. Anyone who chooses to purchase a physical version will still need to download new patches, DLC, or updates. So not having a disc, I don't understand if it's such a big issue.
But the big issue is that it's tied to your account, where the disc is, where the license is tied to your account, where the disc, or where the license, let me back up. So with digital, the license is tied to your account because it doesn't have a disc. With the disc, the license is tied to the actual disc itself. That's why you're still able to resell it and give it to a friend, for them to borrow it and play and things like that, because the license is on the disc. It's not like once you install the game on the disc, you just toss the disc away and then just play the game off your console. No, you need the license, the key that is still on that disc. And that's why people love having the physical games, obviously, is to have it there. But it's because if they like people with physical games have the precaution. I'm not saying everybody's aware of this, but mainly have a precaution of if something were to happen to my account or anything of that nature, I'm still able to play my game that I paid for. I paid full price for. That's what it is. Now, I'm going to say this, like, and I'll say this every single time when it comes to topics like this. Yes, I do have some games that are physical. I mean, I do have some games that are digital. And also I have games that are physical. The ones that are digital, there were some that I bought that were digital. Like I have like Division 2 and stuff like that. But then there are some games that I got gifted that were digital, obviously. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go and find physical copies of those games so I can have them just in case anything were to happen. I can still play the game, pretty much. Because then all I have to do is just put the disc in and install it, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, let's continue.
Wow. Again, I cannot believe this is the same man who did this video right here that spotlighted why physical media is such a...
This is how you share games. This is how you share games on PS6. Oh, no.
Good thing. The ability to lend games easily, the ability for the secondhand market to be a thing. Like, you know, you made a video highlighting why the disappearance of physical media would be an issue, which was what Xbox One was trying to do. And so you countered with that video. And so now it's like he's forgotten about all of that. And yes, it is true that in this day and age, physical media does require patches, DLC, or updates, but at the very least, you know.
And the reason why is because it's live service. Imagine if live service games were not a thing. They made the game, whatever's on the game is on the game, which means it has to be a completed game. They sell it to you, and then you buy it, and then that's it. That's the end of transaction. Nothing else is involved. No licensing or anything like that. That is it. That is why I don't have any games on me right now. But that's why a lot of games back then, like Rainbow Six Vegas, things like that, you're still able to play. The only updates that they would do to the game is if there was like a new DLC that happened. That was pretty much it. But if you didn't want the new DLC or just didn't care for it, or if there was like, I don't know, with GTA 4 where they had like some songs that they had to remove because of DMCA, all you had to do was just literally unplug your console from the internet and just don't update the game, and you still have the content. But now I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe what you can do is with games like that, all you have to do is clear the system cache. You clear the game system cache, you go back to version 1.0 when the game came out, and you have all the contents that's there. I still, with Rainbow Six Vegas 2, there's still that bug where you can the infinite enemy turret glitch, where if you throw C4, like I think it's on the second mission, if you throw C4 on a door and you turn around and you look up, there's a mounted machine gun, nobody's on it. You step to the side, you detonate this said C4 right on the door, and then a person will spawn, like the spawn will activate. What you do is you just shoot that person in the head one time, another one will spawn immediately after. You just keep doing taps, just shooting them in the head, and you earn all these XP, these badges, and you get all these you can get all the challenges done to get gear, to get gear, to get guns, to get, you know, certain XP points and stuff like that. And that's what people did. People exploited the hell out of that. And then what you do is when an update happened, right? I think still to this day people can do it. When the update happens, or no, sorry, you go back. So you do that when you clear the cache. Oops, when you clear the cache, you go do that, right? And then what you do is, like, after when you're done, right? You go to the dashboard on your Xbox, then you log back, then you boot the game back up, update the Xbox, because basically that's saved to your profile, saved to your account, your profile. And then what you do is you like once you're updated and everything, check your character. Your character has all this stuff that you just unlocked. That took you about an hour. If you were to do every single one. That's it. It's crazy.
Assuming that physical media is done properly, where
Sorry, I keep
all
smacking the mic.
data of the initial launch of the game is still housed in the disc, at the very least, you get to preserve some version of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas with digital, if a game is eradicated because of licensing agreements issues, because just the company decided to no longer list that game or to support that game or make it downloadable anymore, and just decided to nuke that game for whatever reason, that digital game disappears forever. At the very least, with a physical disc, even if it's not the most.
Also with digital, they control the pricing. That's all it is. It's just control. They control the pricing of the whole entire thing. So, if you go on, you know what? Hold on. Let's look at it right now. Oh, I was like, why is my mouse not working? Because I had it turned off. All right. So let's go look at let's see, PlayStation Store, right? Okay. Games, PS5. All right. Marathon is, oh my goodness. You guys see this up here? Look at that. It says buy now. It says buy. It doesn't say to rent or anything like that. It says buy. Oh, goodness. Online play required. I don't see anything on here that says that it states that you have, that you are buying a. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about you're buying a license. Actually, hold on. Let's find another one. Let's do Gran Turismo 7. Okay, Gran Turismo 7, right? All right. So it is $70. Let's go to Amazon. Let's do Gran Turismo 7 on PS5 and get it for $42. $70, $42. When did the game come out? 6 years ago. Oh, not 6 years, 4 years ago. The game released 4 years ago, and it's still $70 here. So again, if you get rid of this, or the digital market, or not digital market, if you get rid of the physical market where you cannot buy the games secondhand or anything like that, and you're stuck with this, this is it. You'll have games that are 4 years old that are selling for $70 still. That is the problem. That is what people do not like, is the control that PlayStation has over everybody, and it's this whole monopoly thing that's very irritating. So
Most patched version, even if it doesn't have all the DLC and updates, and those things have to be downloaded. At the very least, the disc still houses some kind of functional playable version of a game, and you get to have access to it on some level. And there's the issue. Sony literally announced not too long ago that they will be removing a bunch of movies from people's libraries. We're talking about purchased content that will just be removed, stripped, and not be refunded in any way, shape, or form. And this is not the first time this has happened. That's what can happen with digital media. Whereas if you bought the Blu-rays for those movies, you get to keep those in perpetuity forever. They can never pull off something like that with physical media, because
and also that's the other crazy thing is it's the reason why a lot of lawsuits are happening. Multiple countries have lawsuits against PlayStation because of what is happening now. They can still change it, they can still reverse it, but they're still standing on it.
Because right now, the laws don't protect digital media in the same way that you're protected with physical media or physical products, where companies can't just come into your home and take something away from you because they ended services for that product or because of licensing agreements issues and whatnot. But with digital,
it's like the movie Sisu that I have right here, right? Physical game or physical movie. I'm sorry, physical movie. Who made this? Lionsgate. Okay. It's not like Lionsgate can come into my house and take this back once their licensing ended or whatever. They can't come and take this from me. No. Because I paid for it. I own it.
Digital media, because it's all done digitally and because they don't have to come into your home to steal your products, they can get away with that somehow simply because the methodology is a little less invasive than physically showing up to your door. So
this is why I wish I was like a trillionaire and I can just buy, buy like an extensive amount of shares or ownership over PlayStation and Xbox, and then I have the control over it. Because then if people get mad and say like, oh, I'll be like, what's going on? Because obviously I play video games, right? And I have control over it. They'll be like, oh, so we're getting rid of digital games. No, you're not. You are making, just because what you just said, you're opening up your Blu-ray disc factory again, and you are selling your games at $60. I don't give a shit. You're gonna sell the game actually no, I'll take it back. You're gonna sell the game at $70. Oh, at $70, right? Digital, you'll sell it at 60 because the difference for actually having a physical and stuff like that, right? That's what's gonna happen. Then what's gonna happen is that everybody that had this idea and we're pushing this through, we're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have another meeting. That's what we're gonna do. Also, another thing I would get rid of is early access for digital, because or have a contact or contact all retailers and say anybody that pre-orders a physical copy of whatever game, you give them the code, or they get let me back up. If they pre-order a game, a limited edition physical game of, I don't know, anything, it could be, let's just say Gran Turismo 8, right? Digital, they have that 3-day early access. Physical games, physical holders, they will have that too. They will get a code printed on the receipt. They take the receipt to said place or whatever. Have the code, have like a code labeled on the game or whatever. They hand in the receipt, they scan it, they receive their copy, they leave. That's what I would do. That I would do that to get rid of this whole to level out, at least level out the whole early access shit. If not, get rid of it in general. Everybody plays on the day it launches. You don't play 5 days early. You don't play 3 days early. No, you play the day it launches. You know why? Because then it gets rid of this whole the leak stuff, and then it gets rid of these day one updates, these day one patches that happen. That's because that's what it is. It's to prevent people from leaking information or exposing gameplay early. So a lot of people, they'll play not a lot of people, but there are some people that will somehow get access to the game, and then they'll try to play it, but then it's like, oh, you have to wait until this day to actually play the contents of it. All you can do is open it up to the main menu. That's usually what it is. And then when they do that day one patch or update, it's basically unlocking the game, like the whole content for the game. That's what they're doing. So that's what I want to talk about. But anyway, yeah, if I was a trillionaire, I would control it the way I would want to, and then I think it would make it everything. I think it would make everything better. Let's put it that way. Because I believe in, just like with with game design, I believe in player choice. I believe in consumer choice. I'm not against digital owners or anything like that. People that love digital games, I'm not against them. I'm for consumers having the option of, if you want to buy this game physical, you totally can. You don't have to buy the game digital. Oh, and then also I would also do with Xbox. Actually, with just let's say all of them. Let's say Xbox, Nintendo, everybody. Downloadable content. Okay, yeah, downloadable content. I would not add to the digital numbers. I wouldn't. It's a digital thing. Yes, I understand. It's digital content that is put onto a game, but it's not a sale of a game. And on top of that, it's not a sale of a game. It's just a add-on for the game. And on top of that, if you're going to do that, I would break it down even more. There's some way to calculate it. I guess I would say associated with the account because of licensing. if the license is attached to account or is the license attached to a disc. I know they have that somewhere. That if a person has the game physically and then they sell the game and then they buy like obviously the DLC that's digital, that digital for the physical holder, that should still count as a physical sale. It should be tied to the physical game sale. And if you buy it digital, it should be tied to digital sale. It sounds kind of complicated, but I believe like associated with how the licensing is, that's where they should. I believe that they should dictate where that sale would go. That makes sense.
So Shuhei Yoshida here saying, I don't understand if it's such a big issue. I don't understand how he doesn't understand why this is such a big issue, especially being the man who made that instructional video on how to lend used games.
Yeah, it just makes him look bad.
That highlighted one of the many benefits of physical media still being a thing, so long as the law doesn't offer the same protections for digital media. Now, Shuhei Yoshida tries to emphasize with collectors and how he knows that a lot of fans do like to collect physical games. They have walls full of physical packages, and for them, it'd be a shame if physical games are no longer available to collect. But he expects that even if disc manufacturing eventually stops, collector's editions would continue in another form with packaging that includes a download voucher. Wow, thanks. For collectors who enjoy physical packages, says Shuhei Yoshida, and special editions, I think they'll still be able to purchase those physical packages.
But the thing is, people aren't like people buying the collector's edition of a game, and things like collector's editions of like whatever game it is, like Gears of War or what was it? Yeah, like Gears of War or any other game. Like I still have mine for Armored Core that's still sitting in the box. I'm looking at the box right now. It's Armored Core. People aren't just gonna buy it because of that. Like they're gonna buy that special edition of that figurine, statue, and everything because it comes with the game as well. Like that's what we like about when it comes to and tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. That what we like is a full package when it comes to a collector's edition. We don't want to have just a we don't want to have just a figurine. We want to have the figurine with the game, with an art book, things like that. That's why I like with one that's like one gripe that I have with Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief that's coming out. So if you want the Joker set, which is you get the art book, you get the vinyl collection for Ace Combat 8, which looks pretty cool, and things of that nature, right? And you want the game with it. The game is only if you get the digital, and it's on PlayStation and on Steam. That's it. Sadly, no Xbox. So that's the only thing that you can get. Now, if I want to get it, I could buy it separately, but it just kind of defeats the purpose, right? It just defeats the purpose. I'm not getting a steelbook or anything like that. I'm just buying. I have a standard. Oh, I have a deluxe edition game, but because it's like an extra $10. But I have that. I just don't have like the collector's edition stuff. I think eventually I will buy the vinyl. I want the vinyl because the music is like you cannot go wrong with Ace Combat music. It's just chef's kiss. So good.
But the thing is, people don't want something that represents the game. They like the notion of the game itself being the actual collector's item, being the thing that they get to keep forever, being the thing that they can like get signed by a developer and the like. And not to mention this notion of like, well, we still have collector's editions and whatnot that include download vouchers that still doesn't give you in perpetuity access to that game because it's digital and it can be taken away from you at this moment. The caveat to that is that these collector's editions are woefully expensive. Not everyone can afford to spend $200, $250, $300 on this collector's edition that includes the metal box and the figurine and all these things. People sometimes just want like the video game that they buy to be the actual item and for that to be represented through the price point of a standard game and not have to like go through a collector's edition in order to have a physical manifestation of the media that they bought and the media that they're a fan of, So To me, this argument falls apart. Now, Shuhei Yoshida does acknowledge that when it comes to the secondhand market, that is an area where the eradication of physical media could be a problem, stating, quote, for those people who chose to buy or sell games, the lack of discs may become an issue. What kind of person doesn't like the notion of buying a product that retains its value that then they can potentially sell off to somebody if they decide they don't need it anymore and make some money along the way? And all the while, the end user gets to buy a product at a reduced price point. They don't have to buy it new. They don't have to buy it from platforms where they're charging full price, but they can buy that product at a reduced.
Like what we said earlier with Gran Turismo between PlayStation Store and Amazon. It was $70 and the other one was $42. That's a huge difference.
Price point. And then for friends and family, there's this wonderful thing you can do with physical games, which is to lend them to people, to your friends, family, loved ones, acquaintances. So many of the games that I play that I didn't have access to in my youth, I got access to because
that's what man, that takes me back to high school. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and this is before, obviously, YouTube was really big. This is still like the birth of YouTube pretty much. Nobody was like, live streaming. Nobody was doing YouTube videos of video games yet. And I remember with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I had the Game Informer magazine. I still believe that is like the greatest cover magazine ever. But I had that, and what I did was we were reading and everything. And then when the game came out, I played it, beat the campaign. Then I played on Veteran, beat the campaign and everything. Went to school, told my friends about it. My friends were like, oh, dang, I wish I had the money to get the game and stuff like that. And I said, hey, either come over to my house or I'll come over to your house. You have your Xbox, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'll bring the game over. Pop the disc in. I want to see you experience the campaign. And say, all right, cool. Friday, went home, grabbed, dropped myself off, grabbed the game, went to my friend's house, popped the game in, loaded it up, didn't have to install anything. And he was playing the campaign. Took about 3 or 4 hours, and then I got to hear his thoughts and everything about it. And then we tried. I already beat it. Well, no, I didn't beat it. We tried Mile High Club on that, like one of the hardest challenges ever in Call of Duty. Mile High Club, which is beating the bonus level Mile High Club under a minute on Veteran. So we were trying that multiple times, multiple times, and we just kept dying. But the thing is, it was the experience that he didn't have the game and I did. I can just lend the game to him, or I can just lend the game to him. He could play it off his console or anything. It didn't have to be tied to an account. Just he's able to play it. And then after we were done and everything, I can pop the disc out of the Xbox, put it back in my case, and then go back home and then pop the game back in my console and then play it like it's nothing. That's what we did. We did the same thing with like when I was even younger and GoldenEye came out on the N64. Somebody brought over GoldenEye. They were like, "Hey guys, look what I got! Look what I got!" And I was like, "Oh, put it in!" And we all played GoldenEye. And then we did the same thing with Perfect Dark. We did the same thing with Mario Kart. We did with Adventure Racing Beetlebug Racing, I think, whatever. All that stuff. It was that simple. Life was simple.
Somebody decided to hand that physical media to me for me to try out. Without that ability, I may not have grown up.
Basically, before live streaming and before YouTubers and stuff like that, that was how we received content. Like, yeah, we had Game Informer magazine, we had IGN and stuff. Back when they were good. And they were reviewing actual game stuff. Like, we weren't taking people's word for it. We're like, oh, we still want to see, we still want to play and everything. So then a friend, word of mouth, would go over and like we would play we'd go play each other's games and stuff at each other's houses. It was such a simpler time. Oh my god, that reminds me of Left 4 Dead. When Left 4 Dead came out and like we were ranting and raving about it. The demo itself. That's also another thing. Bring back demos. I know there's some here and there, but like every single game that's about to release, like do a demo first before like actual releasing the game. So then you hear people's thoughts and opinions about it. And then actually take that feedback. Stop taking it as a freaking insult or an attack. It is critical feedback of your game running well or your game not running well, or some sort of issue. That's it.
Playing a lot of games. And again, with this instructional video right here that Shuhei Yoshida was a part of, and with the press conference that Sony gave at that year's E3, where this was a huge point of emphasis, all of that was spotlighted and highlighted. It was a huge part of the messaging for PlayStation 4 and its benefits. This notion that the games that you buy are not just solely tied to you, that you can like move it around however you want, and you can like share it for free with the people that you feel comfortable sharing those games with, or, you know, have the value of that game, you know, be paid back by buying, selling, trading, so on and so forth. Like, where's that messaging now? And yes, that was a time when physical media.
And the worst part is, it's gonna, like, as they go down this route, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. If you think about it, because right now it's like, okay, so now it's digital games tied to an account, right? I'm gonna say in about 3 to 5 years, we're gonna hear the next. Yeah, I'm gonna say about 3 to 5 years. Remember this day. That 3 to 5 years, consoles in the future. 3 to 5 years, consoles are gonna have it to where only one account can be made on the console. The console is the account is tied to that console, or the console is tied to that account, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? No other account can be made. If you want to have another account, you have to purchase the console. I bet you that's going to happen. The greed is going to get that big. It's going to be that massive that's going to happen. So, say for instance, your account got banned. Guess what? Now you got to buy a whole new Xbox, or you got to buy a new whole PlayStation. If somehow the digital game for that or that license for that game somehow no longer works for your account, or your account got terminated, guess what? Now your console is just a paperweight. These are things that you just gotta take. These are things that people need to take into account. The way how everything is going. Right now, Netflix, we have remember when they're like Netflix, you can make an account and you can have multiple accounts and stuff. And now it's like, say for instance, you go on vacation for a week. They're like, and you're still logging into your own Netflix, right? Now they're saying, oh, this isn't your home internet or anything like that. You need to sign in somehow from your home internet, your home Wi-Fi. If not, then you're just going to terminate your account. What? That doesn't make sense, because it's an account. Again, it's a service you're paying for, but now they're adding all this extra lines of tape that you need to cross just to verify that it's you, even though you made the account and you're paying for it with your credit card that has your name on it and your information. Doesn't make sense.
Media was a lot more dominant compared to digital media, but there's still a market for physical media. In fact, right here we got Christopher Dring, editor-in-chief and co-founder of The Game Business, talking about the physical to digital ratio of Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9. In the US, we did see a lot more digital sales compared to physical, with just 22% of Resident Evil Requiem sales being physical in the US, but 22% still being a pretty significant portion of the market. But then you look at other countries. In France, 55% physical, Japan 51% physical, Australia 43% physical, UK 40% physical. And then the comfort that Shuhei Yoshida tries to offer when it comes to people not being able to buy used games for cheaper in the secondhand market is that, quote, the digital price point can be anything. Publishers can choose whatever price they want for a digital game. And also, publishers are always running promotions and price discounts throughout the year. So people will be able to wait for a sale and buy the games they want at a cheaper price.
Now, here's the thing. Remember when they did that? Remember the issue that happened with the Marathon? If you guys remember? Marathon, when they pushed out they had like a free-to-play week or whatever, and people bought Marathon at a cheaper price. I think it was like $10. Somebody bought it. And what happened was, after when the promotion was over, that free-to-play weekend was over, and the promotion ended, the people that bought the game for $10 had to pay an extra like $30 to play the game, even though they bought it. And it was a huge issue. And then they obviously later on they resolved it. They said, if you bought the game, you bought it. You bought it, so the $10. Hey, you bought it for 10. You got the game for $10. You'll have access to the game. You should, which is true. Like that is their screw up that they put it for $10. But yeah, again, it pissed off a lot of people. So they could do the same thing.
I think publishers and platforms will continue to offer these opportunities for people who aren't able to pay the full price at launch. But that was always a thing. This isn't some new thing that is happening with the eradication of physical media. Those kinds of promotions and sales have always happened. But what physical media offered was yet another option for people to buy game for even cheaper through the used market without having to wait, and just giving the consumers more choice. That choice is now being stripped away, and so people have to wait for game publishers to execute on promotions and sales if they want to get game prices that are cheaper, if they want to buy games at a cheaper cost than at launch and at a price that they're comfortable with. Whereas with the used game market, people can actually buy something significantly cheaper whenever they want, or if they have friends and family and, close acquaintances who can lend them that game or just gift them that game. That's an easy process to do, and they might not even have to pay a single cent if there's someone in the immediate vicinity who can just offer that game to them because they've completed it and no longer need it. Those kinds of capabilities will completely disappear with the eradication of physical media and the current state of digital media. That's what we're losing. That's, again, the entire premise, Shuhei, of your promotional, instructional.
That's what we did for a while for GameStop, because they honored the code, or they honored their policy where if you bought a game from GameStop in 2 weeks, and this is back when GameStop was good. If you bought a game, like say for instance a used game, you bought a used game, you had 2 weeks of that game. You had 2 weeks to return the game and get your full price back. I don't think you got cash back, but you got store credit. So then we use that. We like, okay, they on the system, we'll use it. My brother and I would go to GameStop and we'd go get a game, pay $20 for it, play the game, beat it, beat the game in about like a week and a half. Go back to GameStop, return it, and we just say, yeah, it just wasn't great. And like, well, we show them the receipt. It's within the 2 weeks. They're like, all right, we'll give you $20 store credit. We're like, okay. And they're like, you want to exchange it for another game? We're like, yeah, sure. So we're doing it constantly. Just kept getting games and stuff. But then I believe that policy ended, or they caught on. But it ended. And now we have the game we were left with is Lost Planet 2, which is a great game. Lost Planet 2 is a great game. I believe it's online only though. I can't remember. But anyway, that was a really fun game, and the funny thing is I still have Lost Planet 2. I still had the disc. But that's how it was back then, and that's why secondhand, I believe, like purchasing games secondhand and stuff, was awesome. Just like what Young Yeah was saying, is that when I was done with the game, I was like, hey, I no longer need the game. I don't desire to play. I don't have a desire to play or anything anymore. So I'm just going to sell it. I'm going to give it to somebody else, or trade it in.
Video here that went viral, that people agreed with so heavily that it practically won you the console war for PlayStation 4, that became a...
Seeing this right here, I'm sorry. Seeing this right here where it says this is how you share games on PS6. In the future, it's gonna be like, this is how you share games on the PS7 or the PS8. Hey man, can I get the password to your account so I can play it? So I can play this game? Yeah, sure. And then they send over the password and everything, and then they're like, thanks, and then people play the game. Obviously it's stupid, right? Because then it's like, well, what if that person never gives the account back, or they change the password? The writing's on the wall, right?
A trademark aspect of your E3 presentation that year. So how are we pretending like we don't know the benefits of physical media? And then bringing up this whole thing of like how publishers can price digital games however they want. The thing is that the cost savings of going full digital, which is that they don't have to...
Publishers can price the game or whatever they want. Apparently they can, well, not just pricing, they can control the game. I'm just going to say this, and this is tied with PlayStation. Helldivers 2. Arrowhead Studios, it's their game. PlayStation was publishing it. PlayStation was requiring people on Steam to make a PSN account in order to play the game. If you lived in the country, if you bought the game and you don't live in a PSN supported country, guess what? You got region restricted, meaning you got kicked out of playing a game that you paid for just because you live in an area that doesn't support PlayStation. Crazy, right?
To deal with, cuts being given to brick and mortar stores and manufacturing costs and shipping costs and all these things. None of those savings are being passed to the consumers. All digital games are still priced exactly the same. Digital games are not cheaper than physical games. So, even on that front, publishers are failing us because they will price things at a level where it's corporately beneficial and not something that is consumer friendly. And pair that on top of the fact that Sony is deleting content from people's digital libraries. Yep. Google has done the same with that one Lord of the Rings incident where somebody just saw that their Lord of the Rings trilogy extended editions just disappeared because they bought it from the Google Play Store. And when they asked for a refund, they refused. And then Google issued an apology, but they're still having trouble accessing that digital media. Or even on a much more larger and major scale, we've got situations like these. PBS could lose 70 years of historic archive footage over cloud dispute because all of their content got housed in data centers that...
I saw a video of this with Louis Rossman, and he had a very solid point. This whole time, they could have backed up their drives. They could have backed up all their content on drives. They should have went to the store, bought terabytes worth of storage at that time. I mean it was probably pretty cheap, especially with the money they make. They could have bought all those and they could have backed up everything and put it onto drives. Just like for me personally, for an example, right? For me, I upload my videos on YouTube and everything like that, right? I upload all my videos on YouTube, but here's the thing. No matter what, I don't delete them. I keep them all. All the videos that I have done, this is just for the Battlefield folder, I keep. Gameplay for anything, Rogue Point, yeah. Industry news stuff, I keep them all. I keep all of them. No matter what. Because if something were to happen on YouTube, right, that I can no longer if something were to happen on YouTube that I can no longer, I don't know, my account gets banned or something like that. Well, guess what? I could just either have another YouTube account, or I could just go on to another account, or go to another platform that supports videos, long form content and everything, and I can just upload these again. It's gonna take a while, but I can upload them. So that's one thing I like about. That's one thing I do. With storage, and I highly recommend anybody that does YouTube content or long form content or even short form content, because I even do it in my shorts too. Any content of that nature, I highly recommend you to make sure that stuff is backed up somewhere. Like, even if you have a hard drive or an SSD, like an external one, save it on there and then just store it somewhere. So the only thing for me that gets deleted when I store something is the actual recording that I have itself. Like, after when I'm done editing and everything like that, I'll just be like, okay, upload to YouTube. There's no issues or anything. Cool. All right, let me just go ahead with that raw footage the raw recording that I did, that I edited out and everything. Let me just go ahead and just discard that. So, yeah.
Because the data center company, I think, went bankrupt or something. Like, there's disputes over who that belongs to, and PBS is having trouble.
It was a licensing
that data, and so they're going to court to convince the judges that they are still the owners of that data. But if they had kept that information through physical media, they would immediately have access to those things. So
if they kept it, if they had it backed up on drives, yeah, they would have it still.
So all kinds of incidents and situations in the modern day and age are highlighting the dangers of an all-digital future, so long as the laws
Well, that's what he's about to say. But what I was going to add on there is that people are too dependent and people rely too much on digital assets, I guess you say, digital methods when it comes to like storage or preservation, things like that. That's the problem when it comes to that situation. Because if you had if you have an alternative to to this situation, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be as bad as it is. It'd be like, oh damn, well, all my stuff that I had saved on my cloud, all the stuff I have saved on my cloud, I can't access anymore. What the heck? But then you're like, oh, I have a hard drive. I have a hard drive that has all this stuff on here. All right, cool. Like the thing is, like with all my stuff for I need to back it up again. I need to do another one. But all the stuff that I have for my alerts and all that stuff, and my setups for OBS, I have it in portable mode and I have it backed up and I have it backed up and compressed in a 7-zip file, and it's sitting on a flash drive. So if anything were to happen, or if I were just to happen to go to and I have the folders and the files and stuff as well associated with it. So if I were to, I don't know, if I got a new computer, if I got a laptop or something like that, I can just take that thumb drive, plug it in, unzip everything from that 7-zip drive and everything, and I'll be good to go. I had to do a few times with I did a few times where the last one was I was having issues with my Stream Deck, and also with because there was some file that was corrupted or something like that, and I was able to back it up and everything, and then I did that. Now my Stream Deck is fine. It doesn't freeze randomly and things like that. So I was like, cool.
Don't catch up and don't protect digital media in the same way that physical media is. And so long as that continues to be the case, physical media has to be protected and laws have to be enacted so that even physical media, you can't pull bullshit like, oh, you can buy the physical media, but you need a day one download to activate the product, and so on and so forth. The DRMs and bullshit. Like, we want physical.
All of that right there is because of live service. That's it. It's just live service. They're doing this whole method and not only the live service, but it's like the development process of it. They're like, okay, here's the deadline, right? You're working on the game and everything, but going through like the final, I don't know, the final few months of it, the polishing, like trying to polish the game, like trying to optimize and things like that. That's what they should be really focusing on. They should have more time to do instead of going through this crunch time where they're working on the game and everything, and then like, all right, finally we're done. And then when they release the game, it is buggy as heck, and then they have to go back and do more fixing of the game. On top of that, they have to make more content, or they have to make future content for that said game. That's the problem.
Physical media to work the way they used to, which is like, when you buy an N64 cartridge, a PS1 disc, PS2 disc,
yeah.
GameCube disc, whatever, when you buy those discs, all the game is in there.
Yep.
You put it in, you get to play it as long as you have the machine that runs it. Period. Yep. No other requirements. You can have those physical media and hardware in perpetuity, and as long as you take care of them, you get access to your purchased products forever, and nobody gets to dictate otherwise.
Yeah, and also the other thing is, so why is that a huge thing? Okay, hold on. Let me pull up. Okay, so. Let's do color. Yeah, color one. All right. Oh no, that doesn't work. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll do that, and then do another one. And then we'll do another one. Okay. And then we'll do. Trying to like color these different. And then this one. And then yellow. Okay. All right. All right. So. When it comes to games, right? When it comes to games, we're seeing everything that's like, everything that's like nice and pretty. Obviously, we have the, textures and things like that, right? This is what the majority of why this makes up a percentage of why games are super highly, I was gonna say impacted, but it's not impacted, but why they cost so much to download, why the download file size is so big, why it's like usually like, you know, a few hundred gigs. Eventually in the future it's gonna be a terabyte, I'm gonna tell you that right now. A few hundred gigs and stuff like that, because of textures and because of materials put onto a mesh. That's what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about this stuff a little bit. So basically it is this. So when you are looking at a material, right? If you're looking at a material like let's say for instance skin, right? Skin on your arm, right? What we're looking at are multiple things. So we're looking at oops. Why is it opaque? No. Oops. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't know why the font is like. All right. So we have normals. We have metallic, roughness, which is metallic roughness. Then we have like height, and then ambient occlusion, right? Okay, so we have those. What normals is, it's pretty much like a detailing of different heights. So it's like, say for instance, you have you have a character's face and it has a mole on it, right? It's going to scan over. It's going to scan over that texture, that one texture in the normal, and the normals are usually like a blue with like red and stuff like that. And basically, it's like if there's like a mole or something, or if there's a gun, for an example. Yeah, we'll do gun for example. If there's a gun and it has like writing on it, right? If you want to have it engraved, you will take that letter, or you would take the name. So let's just say 7.62. That's the type of ammunition, or 5.56 NATO, right? That's the type of ammunition. And you want to have that engraved onto the weapon. You type that out. You take that word, and you would paste it onto the normal. So when that normal, that texture map is made, it means like, hey, this is going to be engraved in the normal. Like, this is going to be engraved in this texture. So then when you are putting it all together and you look at the weapon, you'll be like, oh, okay, 5.56 right here. That's the NATO 5.56. It'll say it right there. Metallic, it's different. It's basically like shiny and not shiny. That's it. Shiny, not shiny. Roughness. Oops. Stop it. All right. So roughness. Roughness is basically, do you want something to look clean, or do you want to have something with like a little grunge material, looks dirty? You guys can't see it. Probably can't see it. Albedo. That is basically your colors. So it's just like, you know, a lighter brown, darker brown, things like that. Height is more of a, I'd have to look at it again. Let's see. Because I know some use it in a PBR, which is physically based rendering source spec that includes height maps. But so yeah, okay, so it's 2D. So it's a scaling, and basically it's lighter is stands out more, darker means it goes in. Okay, yeah. Okay, I remember now. Sorry. So that's height. Ambient occlusion. So it's like, say for instance, if somebody had like a mole or something, I don't know, and you want that to stand out, it'd be light. It'd be a little more lighter than the rest of your arm. So your arm could be like somewhat grayish. But then if you have like a somewhat of a lighter gray, and that's a circular, it's like, okay, that stands out more. That's the mole, right? Depends how prominent it is. Now, ambient occlusion is different. It's kind of like the height map. It'll look identical to a height map, but it's different. It is where the light hits. So if I were to scan my arm like this, right? As you can see, if I was, oh wait, hold on. Do I have black and white? No, I don't have black and white. But anyway, if it's in black and white, what you do is you take your, basically you'd see in black and white, this would be white, and then all this right here would be black, right? If you look at my arm, it would be black. So the stuff that is black, that means the light's not hitting it. But if you see the white, obviously it does. If I turn my light off right now on my, well, not on the monitor, but if you see the difference between like where my wrist is, it's lighter, it's darker. It's lighter, it's darker. It's because of the light that hits it. So that's why you have it's those things that had those crazy fine details. So where I'm going with this, all this costs a certain amount of like storage. So it'd be like it could be like 512 megabytes. It all depends on how detailed it is, depending on how detailed it is. So let's say all this gets put together, right? And when you put all this together, can I zoom out a little bit? Yeah. Oh. Hold on. Let me select all these. Right? Okay. So we have that, right? Oops. Let's do a circle. So once we have all these texture packs, when they all get put together, that's what you get, and it's called a material. That is your material pack. So that's how that works. That's how you have a material, and then your material you get put onto your mesh, on your mesh. So it'd be like on a character, on a t-shirt, whatever you're throwing it on, that is called a mesh. Now again, we can go further down that rabbit hole when it comes to meshes. So you would have something called you would have a block mesh, which pretty much looks like a character from like your PS1 games, things like that. Then you have your high poly, which is very detailed, that is really defining the shape of whatever object you're making, right? And then your game mesh is the mixture between the two, where it's you're using less polygons from your high poly mesh, but still trying to retain the shape or the surface of the intended object. So it's like if you're trying to make well, no, that's not a good example. Okay, it's like if you're trying to make this ball, right? You're trying to make this ball, and it has this on here. Oh, this is perfect. This is actually a perfect example. Okay, so if you were trying to make this ball, right? Obviously, for block mesh, you can't really block it out because it's round. It's spherical. It's round, right? So what you'd have to do is you would have to make you'd do a high poly. So when you do a high poly, it's basically high poly is basically a combination of edges, which are lines. Then you have vertices, which are dots where all the edges connect. And then you have faces, which is, again, would be like the middle, the empty space right here. That is a face. So edges, vertices, where they're connecting, and then the face, right? So that right there is that's a polygon. That's your that's a polygon. That's your polys, and it counts how many are on a mesh, your overall object. So if I were to do like a wireframe of this, technically, if I were to do a wireframe of this would probably have about 64 to roughly 100 on this ball, just this ball alone, right? So if I were to make this ball in Maya, if I were to make this ball in Autodesk Maya or in Blender, and then I wanted to texture this to make it look identical to this, because if you look closely, it does pop out a bit. It does have like a somewhat of a 3D effect to it, right? It stands out. I would make the ball, and then I would take an image of the blue ribbon, and I would once I UV map it and all that stuff, I would throw that on the normal, and then I would throw it on the normal, or I could throw it on the height map, and then just make the slight adjustments to have it stand out a little bit, and then basically I can make that ball. But anyway, between with going back to this ball, if I want to put this in a game and I don't want it to be a high poly, because if I leave everything high poly, right, which would be like usually your ultras, your like your ultra settings or whatever, it could ruin the game. Like it could make the game be unplayable, which is an optimization issue, right? So what I would do is I'd do a game mesh. I would try to remove as many polys as I can while trying to retain the shape of this ball. So it's like how much I can get away with it. There are some things where it's kind of like cutting corners. So it's like, say for instance, okay. Say for instance, this button, the St. Jude button, right? All we know, this is basically 2 cylinders, and sorry, it's a little dusty. It's 2 cylinders. This is protruding out a little bit, so you know that it's edges. It's the edges and the vertices, mainly your edges. What you're gonna do is you would extrude them out, so they have that little bulge, not bulge, but you know, it comes out a little bit, right? So you do that. But the way to cheat this is, because usually there's a face, which would be this. This is the face. This is a face as well. You don't want to have both the faces inside that you see. They would collide, and that can cause a ton of issues and things like that. So what you do is you can cheat the system. How to do this? You would just take the face of this that's on the other side that you cannot see, you delete it. And then the same thing, the face that is on here, the face here that's actually underneath this, you delete it too. And it makes UV mapping a lot easier, so you don't have deformed looking materials that you throw on. Sorry, I gave that a little lesson there, but that's what's so those two put together make one art asset. Now imagine how many assets are in a video game. Now, and also on top of that, imagine how many imagine how many are like super high quality, high polyed assets. Because you can just think, like, even just in a shooter, you got the gun, you have the person's hands. If you do see their feet, you got their shoes, you got their legs. Then also you have the ground, you have the environment around it. Like, yeah, that could cost up to more than a few hundred gigs. But if you optimize it well, you can actually lower it down. So, and where I was going with this is where he was talking about everything could be put on the disc. It could still be playable on disc. Yeah, it is true. But what the industry has been doing is they have been doing these texture packs and everything like that. And it has been forced upon people that they have to download it to play, even though damn well they're going to play it at low settings. Like, for example, Battlefield. If you play on the EA app, you have to download the high definition texture pack, even though you're going to play on potato mode. And that is a problem. So that's where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
Whereas with this all digital future we're headed towards, the companies get to dictate everything.
Yep.
We do not want that because companies never, ever operate in good faith. They always operate for the sake of money going up, number going up, for the sake of greed, profits, and corporate interests. So if you want to know what the big deal is, Shuhei Yoshida, this is it. And again, you yourself had made that same argument, 13 years ago when you dissed Xbox for polling what PlayStation's polling right now. You yourself literally championed physical media and its benefits way back when. And all of a sudden,
And it's because it gives PlayStation brownie points, and also they get more money. That's it. It's just money.
now because you are convenienced by digital media, suddenly like this is where the world should be headed, and it's not a big deal because it doesn't affect you personally. Like that's a bad faith argument if you ask me.
Yep.
So hopefully the future is one where lawmakers get involved and one where they can regulate these companies and corporations and the way consumer rights are currently being handled, because right now it just we're headed towards a dystopian future where we will own nothing if this is just something we accept as normal. Or at the very least, that's one man's take. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on all of this in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
All right, there we go. And that is Mr. Young. Yeah, I'll make sure here. I'll put that back in. I'll put his link in the chat again. But yeah, that is what is going on with PlayStation. And again, I was just going on a super far tangent, but I wanted to let you guys know. I wanted to keep you guys informed, have you guys informed of the situation that's happening. Let me see here. Okay, no. Trying to see. Okay. Okay, so this is from my art station. I made this years ago. This is when I was in school. All right, so to make a okay, dang, can't show it. So basically, to make a these are textures. This is done in Adobe's Substance 3D Designer. They have a 3D painter, but that's for actual models itself. This is a 3D designer mainly used for Unreal Engine for their environments, right? So basically what you see here is the different types. So this is normal. Where is it? So this one right here is your normal, where I'm highlighting is your normal. Then you would have your color, your albedo, normal. This is your roughness, metallic, ambient occlusion, and then your height. All that, again, makes your material. It turns into your material. So the dark cement, remember that? If I recall, I do have it right here. Then your dark cement. So this little thing right here, this whole thing makes this. And that's how you get your materials. That's how you get your materials, and that's how they make material sheets. And then obviously that's how you throw it onto these things. That's it. Like you would think this right here, this little cement or this moss that's put on there, this is actually just flat, a flat rectangle with a U shape in it. That's it, with a cut. And all I did was just make little adjustments to the height map, and it makes sense. So it looks like it stands out a bit. So it's right there. So you kind of see it. But yeah, that's what. Oh, here you go. There's more. But that's how you make everything. This is the reference, and this is what I make. This is what I made. Had to do some adjustments and everything. But yeah, these are, again, the base color, your albedo, base color, your normal, roughness, metallic, ambient occlusion, and then your height map. That's it. Plaster, same thing, to get rid of that effect. And then that's how I made all this stuff. That's it. That's how it works as an artist. Do I have the breakdown of this? I don't. This is using Substance Painter, which is pretty cool. Oh, I forgot. This was the game that I did in game design. We were trying to do like a not Walking Dead. We were trying to do like a Left 4 Dead style way of it. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I wanted to show that, talk about that, and everything. That's why games are so such a pain. That's why they're such a pain. Okay. Let me use restroom. We're gonna do one more reaction. This is gonna be this is Ender's talking about Top Gun update, and I'm want to hear people's thoughts. And then after that, what we'll do is we'll go. We're gonna talk about we're gonna go over this Top Gun update, and then we're gonna play. We're gonna play Battlefield. Don't worry, we will play it. We will play it. But I shall be right back. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Let's do this. Well, almost like fully closed out Spotify. Holy crap. All right. Here we go. Let's check this out.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Just played Wake Island for about 8 hours, and I'm here to tell you all about this brand new update. Everything from the modes to the new weapons, attachments, new bugs they reintroduced back into the game because, well, we can't have an update where that doesn't happen, you know what I mean? And of course the good stuff too. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this video. So, if you guys enjoy the channel, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and swing by the streams. I have exclusive Twitch drops, ladies and gentlemen, today and tomorrow. I will be live, so if you don't have your drops, swing by twitch.tv/enders. I will probably be live for another 8 to 10 hours tomorrow as well, because I'm just a fucking chud. Alright, Top Gun update. What do I think about it? There will be timestamps left in the description for your viewing pleasure. First things first, I just have to say up front, I don't seek out to be negative about anything. Like, I was so open to the possibility that I'd be wonderfully surprised by this update, even though the patch notes were objectively disappointing. And
It's, again, people, I understand it's like so he doesn't get in trouble from Battlefield or anything like that. But honestly, he's just pointing out flaws. That's it. Pointing out flaws, and he's just very he's critical with it. That's it.
And that was confirmed by essentially anyone that has the ability to read. But I left the doors open for Wake Island to impress me, even though I disagreed with the selection of the map to begin with. So I suppose we'll talk about Wake Island first. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. It's mediocre. It's very, very mediocre. Okay, and I'm being very polite about this. Conquest is absolutely the best experience on Wake Island, and that makes a ton of sense, because Conquest Assault was the original intended mode for Wake Island, and Conquest is not quite Conquest Assault, but it's pretty close, so therefore Wake Island plays the best on that mode. When it comes to Escalation and Breakthrough, they just feel really forced, kind of shoehorned in there, if you know what I mean. And that also makes a lot of sense because Wake Island was never meant to support these other game modes. And I was talking to Gravity, who some of you might know. I consider him to be like a Battlefield historian and wizard. And he was telling me that if the map doesn't traditionally support the modes they're trying to force onto it, they shouldn't force the modes onto it to begin with and just relegate the map to the modes that it was originally intended for.
Yeah, like look at Saints Quarter for Battlefield 6. You can only play that game if you're doing domination, team deathmatch, and I think squad deathmatch. That's it. That's all that map is good for. And that's the only modes you can play it on. So again, like when it comes to these maps that we are playing and everything, and we're playing on Conquest, we're playing on Escalation, we're not playing Breakthrough. We're not playing Breakthrough to see what it's like to play, what it's like to be on Breakthrough. Let me back up. We're only playing on Conquest and we're playing on Escalation when it comes to Battlefield Labs. We never play Breakthrough. So we don't know how Breakthrough is going to play until until it's out in retail. That's the problem. And then that's usually where we have issues where the designs of where the spawns are at and like how attack points are and things like that are, and then we go in there and then we give our opinions about it, we give our feedback on it, and then like a month or two later down the road, they finally change it. Like look at Hagenthal Base. The attack when you're attacking the first sector, B is no longer in that big room. It's now when you go up the stairs and like there's the zip line, and then there's like to the right side there's like a tunnel access. Like that's where B is now. And now we're like, okay, all this open space in the back where all this open space in the back where B used to be, now it's just there's a gap between the defenders headquarters, their spawn, and where B is. And if you have a good enough team, what they'll do is they'll just place spawn beacons in that area and then just spawn from there.
And I couldn't agree more, but I do understand why DICE is trying to make these maps playable on more modes than just one, but in the end, the experience is heavily sacrificed. Take this unedited, real, by the way, screenshot from Escalation on Wake Island. Once again, this is a real image, and I don't even think I need to explain what's wrong here.
If I recall, this for Escalation, this is like if you're at 1-1, 2-1, maybe. I think that's what it is.
Can't just slap on 500 vehicles on a map and expect it to play well. So Escalation, in my opinion, is unplayable with a capital U. And when it comes to Breakthrough, you would think that Breakthrough would play a little better because, of course, Wake Island is a U-shaped island, and you can make a linear game mode work because you can make the sectors flow throughout that entire island. Breakthrough, in my opinion, is the second best experience on the map. However, I do think Breakthrough is significantly rougher than the Conquest experience. The last sector is almost impossible to capture, and I do feel like, and I'm going to piss people off with this, but, you know, hey, listen, just hear me out for a second. There are too many attack boats available on Breakthrough Wake Island, and dare I say, there are just too many vehicles available on the map. In certain
On the attack boats, and this is why I said like the mortar is going to be a problem, because when Wake Island comes out, you can mortar from your headquarters on the attack boat on top of portable mortars as well in your headquarters. Yeah. And this is why I say constantly, DICE, revert the change of allowing mortars to be in headquarters. Because it doesn't, like, for the team, it doesn't help them to capture an objective or to defend an objective. And honestly, it's just overall just annoying. And that's why a lot of people still play Hagenthal base, because they rather deal with invisible grenades and getting hit with a grenade launcher in Hagenthal base than to get hit by a random mortar from a boat or from a portable mortar that is sitting in a headquarters. Yeah.
Scenarios playing Breakthrough, the vehicle discrepancy between the attackers and the defenders felt really suffocating, and that led to teams struggling and stalling out in record time. Another massive topic of conversation regarding Breakthrough is the zip lines on the attacking side. The world's longest combination of zip lines have been attracting some criticism, and I'm here to explain to you why this is essentially DICE's only option, unfortunately. So here's my wondrous rendition of the zip line coming from the aircraft carrier to the beach of the first sector of Wake Island.
Oh, no.
This is done very deliberately because, as you can see, the distance the attackers have to cross via the zip line is longer than the distance the defenders have to cross in order to defend the points, which means the defenders will get there before the attackers, which is how the map should work in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are wondering, why don't they just move the HQ to right about here? The answer to that is Wake Island does not leave them room to move these objectives and their HQ around to a different location. They basically have no room to actually rework this if we're being realistic. And I'm not even kidding. This is actually the best thing they could have done, which is crazy. But if you just think about it real quick, like, where would they even move one of these objectives? Like, there's nothing here that can be considered an objective. And if you were to take B,
They would have to build an asset and then they would have to build an asset just to put that there. Or they can, if they wanted to rework the terrain, they could probably put a bunker there and put B there. I don't know.
and move it over here, you'd have to take the HQ and move it over here, but you can't do that because this is the other sector's point. So it's just...
Yeah, so if you move it back, you'd have to change the whole island. You'd have to change the other sectors of the island, yeah.
It's basically screwed, and they needed a way to...
Or what you could do is, I mean, it'd be a lot, it'd be pretty different, is you take that whole island of, like, you take all of Wake Island, split, and this is going to be rough. It'd be rough. It'd be like a very challenging breakthrough. And we might get shit for it, but take this sector right here and actually shift it down so it covers this one, the other end of the island. Put A at one point, put B at another point. So you actually have to split it off. Like you would really have to split it off. And then you can work your way down. So then if you were to rework the map, then you can do like the next sector, you can like make some adjustments there and things like that. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility how they can do it.
Delay the attackers getting to the beach so that the defenders could actually defend the objectives here in time. And a lot of people are wondering, well, why don't you just take a bunch of these vehicles and add like 20 more rib boats? You can't do that. You can't have a vehicle per person. You can't have, 15 jet skis, or else, one boat goes over here and one boat goes over there and one boat goes over. It's just impossible to keep track of what's going on, and then you have no infantry on the beach to actually push up, and basically it would play like shit. So those are my extended thoughts on Wake Island. Now moving on to talking about some of the other modes. I think Carrier Strike is actually pretty fun. I played it quite a bit, and I felt it was one of the better experiences in this update for sure. However, people are critiquing it for only being available on Subaru Reef, and I agree with them.
It doesn't make sense, because why would you have, like, and I explained this in the Battlefield Discord as well, in the Creator Program Discord. When it comes to a product, and it was a question I asked. I said, okay, so if you're releasing a new content, wouldn't you want to have them all tied together somehow? Like, if you're doing a Carrier Strike and then you're also releasing a new map like Wake Island that has carriers already on there, why not do Carrier Strike on that one as well? Subaru Reef, remember, Subaru Reef didn't have aircraft carriers before this update. They didn't have aircraft carriers at all. When you spawned in the F-16 and the F-22, and you can still do this on Conquest, if you spawn the F-16 and F-22 or the F-39 Gripen and the Su-57, you spawn in the air. Like you're in the vehicle in the air already flying. They expanded the map to put those carriers in. This map already had the carriers in it, so why not add Carrier Strike in this one as well?
I don't really understand what they were doing with this, because I think a lot of people,
like, another example is that's like putting an F-18, that's like putting the F-18 Super Hornet and the F-14 in the game for Top Gun, and then you don't see them on Subaru Reef, you don't see them on Wake Island, but they're in Operation Firestorm only. It doesn't make sense, right? You'd want to have all the content tied together. That's where I was getting at.
People expected Carrier Assault to be available on Wake Island as well, but it isn't. And then the other limited time mode is like the Top Gun mode, right? And that is essentially just air superiority.
Yep.
It's a fun time, jump in it and get in the jets. The next thing I want to talk about is the brand new ADS.
Also, okay, he didn't really speak more about it, but the issue is also there's no base defense. No base defense on Carrier Strike. I said this in my video as well. If you guys want to check that out, you guys totally can. We're basically, there's no spawn protection, there's no CRAM, no CWIZ. So enemy jets or even friendly jets can go over to the other player's spawn and literally either steal their jet, land on the carrier, and sit there. And if anybody tries to get in the jet, they snipe them out or shoot an RPG at them, right? They can do that. And that is the problem when it comes to said game. Yeah. My solution to it is do like Breakthrough. Once you take over an objective, right, as an attacker, when you get to the next sector, you can't just immediately jump in. There's a timer. You have to wait for that timer to end, and then you're able to access it. What they should do is, with the carriers, make those as those headquarters, obviously, and have those out of bounds for infantry and things like that. Have it out of bounds until the carrier has been breached. Just have it as out of bounds. And then when the carrier is breached, then it goes away, because obviously now your headquarters has been discovered. It has been blown. That's just personally, that's my personal thought on it.
Dispersion crosshair they added, which I think is actually one of the best things they've ever added to Battlefield, and it will help players a lot. I'll zoom in on my sight, but as you can see, as I'm moving, there's a little bit of, spread there. You can see the moving spread, and if I jump, it shows the jumping accuracy, and when I mag dump, you can see the longer I hold the trigger down without bursting, the more inaccurate I become.
Yep.
If you want to turn this on, it is in options. Never mind, this is still bugged. This menu's holding me hostage. Okay. If you want to turn this on, it is in options, HUD, scroll down, crosshair, and it's on firing range only by default. However, you can turn it on to basically enable it in multiplayer matches so it is always visible. If you're one of those people that is like, I don't know where my bullets are going, turn this on immediately, okay? It will help you, I promise you. Now, there's also something they added to the game, but this time it isn't intended, guys. So, this is the Broad 3, and I'm just going to shoot it, right? You can see it has spread. It's showing you it, right? The crosshair. What if I told you they re-added the match trigger bug back to the game, and it deletes spread from the weapon? And we can actually visualize the bug happening, because you can see I can mag dump this, right? And the crosshair does not show any sort of spread increase at all. And this is the same match trigger bug that was apparently fixed, but in this update, they re-added it to the game. And yes, it is also on the EF88.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So I'm not sure how this is happening, but re-adding bugs to the game seems to be a fairly consistent theme with Battlefield 6. DICE, please fix. Next up, I want to talk about
my only thought about this in a game design perspective is when they are working on a lot of these, when they're adding new content, they're working on an old build. That's my only. It's not a recent up-to-date build. When they fix a bug or something, it doesn't get updated in the build. That gets put out. That's my guess, because again, you fix the bug, or you fix the issue, and then you have new content that comes out, and then that is reintroduced. The only way I can think of it is that bug somehow didn't carry over. It got, or that patch for it did not get carried over. It got left behind. And the only thing I think of is they were working on a build when that bug was happening. So like when Sewer Reef came out, right? When Sewer Reef came out, when Season 4 came out, Sewer Reef, the bug was there because obviously it was on the Broad 3 in the EF88. They were working on Wake Island already. They were working on Wake Island and Top Gun event and all that stuff. They were working on all that stuff already when the bug was still happening. And when they were working on it, when they were working on this and the bug was still happening and everything, they were still working on it. And then during that time, the bug got patched, but somehow it didn't get put into the next game. It didn't get put into the Wake Island update that they put out. That is my theory of what happened.
the brand new sniper rifle, the Interdictor. Now, you unlock this via the event tab here, and you can literally just buy it, and I don't even think it costs that much, so that's pretty cool. It's via the Top Gun event. Unfortunately, this is the worst sniper rifle in the entire game.
Very slow.
And it just really doesn't have anything going for it, guys. 31 rate of fire, so I believe it is the slowest rate of fire of any bolt action in the entire game.
Yep.
It has a lower muzzle velocity than any, guys. 31 rate of fire, so I believe it is the slowest rate of fire of any bolt action in the
Slowest rate of fire, but it does 150 damage. And then the funny thing is, if you shoot somebody in the chest, you still do 80 damage.
Entire game. It has a lower muzzle velocity than the Mini Scout, the L115, the M2010 ESR, and it is just barely higher than the SV98 and PSR.
Mm-hmm.
However, the real nail in the coffin here is the fact that this weapon does not have a ADS bolt, and it's a bullpup bolt action rifle, so that probably makes sense. However, from a meta perspective and just this gun being good perspective, that basically just kills it.
Yep.
It means that you cannot rechamber around while you are in your scope.
Oh, yeah,
you have to un-ADS in order to rechamber around, whereas with other sniper rifles, like the L115, you can just stay in ADS and get way faster follow-up shots.
Yep.
Another thing I want to mention are the brand new suppressors, and they are very, very expensive, guys, and a lot of people didn't even know they were adding these, including myself. So they added 3.
Yeah, this was in the season 4 early access as well. I played with them a little bit, but I didn't have any thoughts about it. So I guess they were still working on it, still testing it, reworking all that stuff. So yeah.
3 new suppressors: the Hybrid Suppressor L, the Hybrid Suppressor S, and the Hybrid Suppressor K. Now you might notice this suppressor costs 50 points.
Yep.
It better be good, and they are good. The 30-point suppressor, as far as I can tell, is essentially a suppressor version of the compensated break. However, it does have massive penalties. So if you look here, it costs you hipfire accuracy, weapon sway, and weapon draw speed. But if you want to use the 40-point suppressor, it takes away the draw speed penalty, and the 50-point suppressor takes away every penalty. So the 50-point suppressor is essentially a suppressed compensated break with absolutely no downsides whatsoever, aside from the fact that it costs 50 points.
Yep.
I've been messing around with a lot of builds with these.
Now on top of that, again, it's 50 points, right? But then on top of that, you got to think of the magazine that is what? Like the attachments that, like, if it's bare minimum, the attachments that are already on the weapon. You have a sight that usually costs 10, right? So you already have 10. You have the barrel that is 10 as well. That's 20. You have what? The magazine that's usually 10, 30. Ammunition, another 10, 40. If you add that suppressor, that's 90. And then that only gives you 10 points for what? A laser, the very first stubby grip that you get. That's it. Yeah.
Suppressors, and I still don't really know if they're viable, but if you want to know eventually if they're viable, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will have a video out updating you guys on all of the builds with all of the new attachments that got added in this update. And the last thing I want to talk about are the brand new 2-seater jets. To me, they seem pretty busted if you have a dedicated squad to play with and somebody that is really, really good at communicating. They have double flares, so you can actually flare 2 sets of locks.
The jets are not good if you're a solo player. It forces you to play with somebody, and if you just don't have anybody, you're screwed. Because if somebody is if you have a random person in your backseat and you're flying, and you already pop flares, and another missile is incoming. By the way, a combination of you and the backseater can shoot a total of 4 air-to-air missiles. Just letting you know that now. So yeah, there's that.
Hawks, which is incredibly strong. I didn't get much playtime in them today, but I do plan on trying to get some footage for you guys and maybe making a little bit of a collab video in them with somebody. See if we can't tear up some lobbies in them. They did mess up the jet cam, in my opinion, though. I don't like it at all. I feel like it's very wonky and weird, and that will definitely be showcased in that jet video that I plan to make. And of course, they added spectator mode in custom lobbies, and this is mostly beneficial for RedSec competitive, which doesn't pertain to most of you, but, well, it is important considering the Elite Series still has to be re-announced, and they did say they were going to re-announce it, and I believe that this is the entire point they added the spectator mode and custom lobbies to the game in the first place. Overall, there's no getting around it. This update leaves a lot to be desired, particularly on the patch notes side of things, but also in the content side of things.
Yep.
I think Season 5 is going to have to be the best season this game will ever receive, especially if Battlefield 6 wants to remain relevant during all of the late year releases. We do have a lot of things to look forward to when it comes to the future of Battlefield 6 with Season 5. It is confirmed we are getting the server browser in December at this point, if you do the math with some of their statements, and we will also be getting 3 new maps and 2 reworks in Season 5 as well. But content doesn't fix the gameplay in later.
I was gonna say it doesn't fix gameplay, and it doesn't fix the core issues when it comes to the game. It doesn't fix the gameplay. It doesn't fix what do you call it? It doesn't fix the packet lossing issues and stuff. If this like here's this is my whole thing. If the server browsers come out in December and it still doesn't fix the packet loss issue, I'm going to be extremely upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, they haven't been fixing the gameplay of the game or bug fixing. Funnily enough, this update introduced a bug they already fixed back into the game that they will have to fix a second time. It always seems like with these updates, they take consistent steps back and sort of trample over their own work that they already did in order to try to bug fix the game in the first place. As far as the third part of Season 4 is concerned, it is confirmed that we will be getting the reticle rework that was teased in the Season 4 trailer on September 15th, and DICE just tweeted.
But the thing is, like, when they see that reticle on the very far right, it's a grenade launcher. It's a reticle on a grenade launcher. That's the only difference. The one on the reticle in the middle, yeah, it's for on a hollow sight, but it just makes it more prominent. That's it. I unless I'm missing something.
As of right now, they're actively looking.
Hold on. What did it say? We've been testing reticle changes in Battlefield Labs for a bit, and we're actively working on them. The implementation wasn't ready for the Top Gun update, and we're currently aiming to have them ready for the third phase of Season 4, titled Strike, launching on September 15th. They said from reactions here in the comments on the trailers, we seem to be on the right track of these changes, which is exciting for us. We'll keep you posted on the exact rollout.
On September 15th, and DICE.
If they're trying to make it more bright and more prominent, hopefully there's a setting to adjust, so you can have it like if you want to have it on the previous way of how the reticle looks now.
Just tweeted as of right now, they're actively looking into the invisible grenade indicator issue, which I'm sure we've all died to hundreds of times. But that about does it regarding my first impressions over this update. They still need to hammer out the gameplay issues of Battlefield 6. It still has potential, but recently it's been Potential Field 6, and that's all. If they don't realize the potential, then, you know, it just sort of doesn't matter. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to this point, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, let me know your thoughts and your experiences playing this today in the comments section. Swing by the stream for those exclusive Twitch drops on twitch.tv/enders, and also I stream on this YouTube channel every single day as well. Check out the second channel, and again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
See you a lot.
All right, there it is. There it is. Yep, rough one. Pretty rough. Oh, let's see.
Battlefield 4 takes place in, what, 2019? Which predates this game.
Trying to see what...
It's the same world, right?
Oh, never mind, I can't. Never mind, he's playing music. I wanted to hear what like Tex was gonna say, but yeah, it's upsetting. It's upsetting. But hey, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna give it a go, give it a whirl, try a little bit of it, and see what happens. So. All right, let me go get some water. And we'll start this up. Let me double check HUD. I think what we'll do first, we're gonna do the Top Gun event. All right, yeah, I'll be back. right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, I want to test out something interesting. All right, I want to test out the jets. Where is... There you go. I gotta go sound settings. There you go. Jeez. All right, let's see here. Let's do... All right, let's check this out. So they added a new system. Hey, my game froze. Nope, it's still loading. Let's check it out. Check out this new system once it loads. There you go. Okay. All right, so options, controller settings. It was what, vehicle? Yeah. Aircraft. Where is it? Where the hell is it? In gameplay? Oh yeah, on it. Yeah, gameplay. Where's aircraft? Vehicles. Okay, so they have plane terrain avoidance and then airplane control assist. So let's see what happens here. Did they add? Oh, I like this update. Okay, so let's try this. Ew. 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 I don't like this. I do not like this at all. So all I'm doing is you're just turning your camera. That's all you're doing. Like, you're just moving the camera around. You're not, I'm literally not. Why? Why do this? How's the camera look? Ugh. What? Why? Why? I don't. Let's see. Hold on. I heard that, and then terrain of one, you can't crash it. You cannot crash it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're running the settings right now. This is with the flight assistance. You're literally turning just using the camera. I do not like that. I'm not a fan of that. And also, I have the terrain avoid assistance, which is letting you guys know it's defaulted on. So literally, it's so you can't crash into the mountain. So let me see. What if I fly into the mountain? It pulls up automatically. And then it brings it back down. Why? Why do this? Like, this defeats the whole purpose of, like, learning how to dogfight and everything. And then if I do this, like, again, I'm just pointing my camera, like, see, like, and it's gonna keep pointing me. It's gonna keep rotating the jet at that area. Like, this isn't good. I hate to say it. You can't. And then also when you do the terrain avoidance, like, you can't even, like, you can't really do strafe runs. You can't do low level strafe runs because it sticks you like it sticks you like actually at the thing. It's crazy. And I don't know what this is, and I don't like it. I don't like how it's like free look. Yeah, I don't like how it's free look or anything. Everything just looks so, it just looks uncomfortable. It really bothers me. It's really janky. It's really janky. It really is. It just bothers me a lot. Okay, now I'm curious. If I take off, oh, I want to see something. I think it was with, all right, controller. I'm gonna go to aircraft, third person camera roll. I'm curious to see this now. Okay, so I turned off the camera roll, right? I'm in third person. Because there's this, right? I'm in third person now. This is still not, the camera's not rolling with the, yeah, the camera's not rolling with it. So yeah. That's nope. That's I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It defeats the purpose. It really defeats the purpose of learning the jet, flying the jet. Let me go back towards the aircraft. Like this is how I originally play. All right, so where'd it go? Turn that off. Okay. Oh, I was saying I didn't even put. And I use my radar to fly. Also, I don't like how the camera is. I notice when I turn. You guys see that? I'm not yawing like this is yawing left and yawing right. As I'm banking, it looks like I'm yawing left and right. I don't like that. I'll bump into him. Whoa. All right. Yeah, this is very interesting one. Hey. I do like how they have the bots and jets. I do like this. This is pretty cool. So you get to test everything out. If you guys want to know, I'll make sure to check this out or to link it. Dang, I'm even packing lost in here. All right, hold on. Let me redeploy. And I want to change up the. Where's the control one? I think it was it? It was the controller, aircraft settings, mapping. Do hold. Control settings. No, it's infantry. Boost, aim, yep. What else? I had something else too, and I completely forgot. Oh, camera. Where's the camera at? There you go. Turn that off. All right, now let me look at zoom sensitivity coefficient is 135. Let's do aircraft. Yeah, so let's do 135. Yeah. Try that. Oh. Nope. Didn't spawn me at HQ. My bad. Oh, now we got more people in here. All right, CCAT. Where's the F-16? All right. So I want to see the F-16 because they said, people said the camera looks different with the F-16 too. See, I like the F-16. Like, you see the reticle, the crosshairs of when you're flying? I like that you're able to see it. You're constantly able to see it. On the F-18, you're not able to see it. There's like a circle that's in the middle, like it's in the cockpit, I know for sure. Oh, I packet lost. Oh, yep. I packet lost. That's not good. That has to be a bug, right? That is a bug because he's underground. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a bug. Yeah. I forgot about that. All right, let's see. I forgot the game, like for helicopters, they feel floaty. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot the helicopters actually feel floaty. Take a loss. This one, so we see that is still a thing. That's great. Gotta love that. All right. All right. So yeah, the new camera, not a big fan of. I am not a big fan of that camera. The new camera, the aim, that flight assist, and the terrain. Like the thing is, you should like again. It just ruins the experience for anybody wanting to actually learn to fly and things like that. Like that is, me personally, I think this is just an improper way of flying because it's just okay. Let me just move my camera this way. Let me move my camera this way. Let me move my camera this way. And then the jet does everything else. You're not controlling your speed. You're not controlling your airspeed. You're not, you don't really have situational awareness because all you're doing is just moving your camera around, looking at wherever, instead of like, flying, trying to maintain speed, trying to do dogfights, trying to do ground runs while your teammate is, what do you call it? While your teammate is basically, I'm trying to come up with the words for it. It's just very upsetting. And then being in first person with that camera, with that flight assist, it's everything is rotating around the camera itself. So like even if you go upside down, it looks like your person's neck is snapping. That's what it seems like. So that's all I got for that. I just wanted to check that out. That just it's crazy. I don't know what they're doing. If you want to learn to fly, go into a practice mode. Go into what I was in. I'll make sure to link the code and just learn how to fly that way. It's just a lot easier. And trust me, it'll all pay off in the end. You'll learn to be better. I'm going to be using this more because, like, shoot, learning how to dogfight, that kind of helps there. Like, especially seeing the bots in there, crazy. And ground runs, great. Anyway, that's it. Later. All right, guys, let's go and do the Gauntlet Fighter Sweep. Gauntlet Fighter Sweep.
Next-gen drones, all tagged with amphibious recovery systems. Enemy retrieval teams are en route. Destroy the cargo. Eliminate hostiles in the area. Intel needs an accurate tally. Scout your targets as well as the kills. Good hunting.
All right. There goes my aim. There goes again. What is, and again with the packet loss, I can't do anything about it. Wait, hold on, I'm curious. Oh, I can't bail out. Dang it. Well, that defeats my whole thing. I wanted a packet loss, or not packet loss. I wanted to see if I could bail out. I wanted to see if I can. I want to see if I could bail out. That'd been sick. So I can. So I can rent a Zook. Packet loss. Oh. Dude, what is again? What is with the packet loss? It's worse and worse and worse. I don't know if he crashed. Did he crash? I drifted into that one. Yeah. Also, I don't like how I feel like the plane is automatic yaw. I don't like the automatic yaw feel. Put your wings out. I clipped the tree. No, I hit either I clipped the tree or I hit an enemy. One of those two. Either way. I shouldn't go up high, but I am. You thrust vector. Fuck. You thrust vectored again. No! Got the engine. Dude. Come on again. It's always.
City boy! City boy!
He went after the boxes. That's what people are doing. Hey, Chunky, what's going on? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in.
Intel will have to make do.
We got the cannon. Okay. Dude, oh. Let's see here. Let's see. Also, not a fan of the camera while turning. All right, hold on. All right, I gotta type this out because this is something I really gotta get this off my chest. Okay, let's type this out real quick. All right, let's see here. All right, so Blade 1. What was it called? Oops. Keep hitting my button to take a screenshot. What was it? Where'd it go? Controller. No. Gameplay. Is it terrain avoidance ruins the? Yeah. Actually, oh yeah. Um. What is the immersion first person? Um. Let's see here. Camera ruins the immersion in first person. Oh, where's controller, aircraft control settings? Where is it? And then also, what was it? Trying to think. Um, need a backseater or is GG's. unless. What else? There was let's see. I think this is it. Like more in third person. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. Okay. We go again. How did the aircraft feel when I was flying in 135 instead of 77? Also, change sense. I'll put the sensitivity back up. That was fun. Input in curve. I did Battlefield. BF3. That's what I like. Vehicle boost. I have that on. Zoom. I have on. I wish maybe there's a. Hold on. I gotta find this out. Yes, but an aircraft has limitations. You can bind the instant turn option in your control settings, but while flying jets and planes, activating it generally swaps your camera back without letting you maintain full flight steering control during the snap. Okay, so no. You have to pan it. See, I wish I wish you don't I wish you don't pan you don't pan the camera. I wish didn't have to be able to pan the camera. Cuz there's free look. And there's free look. Flick look forward. And then flick look back. I'm gonna try this. It may be wrong. It might look wrong, but we're gonna give it a go. Oh, if my game didn't break. Hold on. Let me do this. Go to here. Okay. There we go. All right, so if any issue like that happens, all you have to do is just go into... Okay, that makes sense now.
honestly, I'm boxing a lot of you. The next time, IRL, right.
Yeah.
Intel caught a break. An enemy transport plane suffered bird strike, blew its port engine and scattered its...
I'm gonna take off the network graph.
All tag.
Clearly we know packet loss.
Enemy retrieval teams are en route. Destroy the cargo. Eliminate hostiles in the area.
Oh, nope, don't do that.
Intel needs an accurate tally. Capture targets as well as the good hunting.
All right, here we go. Or they can give me the F-14, huh? Nope. Oh, I had the auto lock on. Damn it. Okay. Pulling to the clouds. Oh, shit. Looks like an active radar missile. Dude, again. The packet loss. This is killing me. This is killing me. Shit. I think everybody's trying to learn how to fly. Put the wings out. Oh, he's... No? All right, pull out this thing. All right, should be good. Come on. Oh my goodness. Every time I have it, and then it's just like, no. I see you. Let's go. Woo. That was fun.
What's the problem? Got somewhere to be? Bandits are off radar. We are
He tried to hide. He tried to hide in the clouds. I like it, but it didn't work. 18 and 2. Those two kills is because of the packet loss. I'm so mad. Those 2 kills were from packet loss. All right, got my jet loadout 3. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Hey guys, I apologize. I think Rue would have beaten you up. Oh, yeah, maybe. What's up, Jordan? It's just again, like using that jet assist, it's just like the plane assist, it's just not good. It's not good. One of these days, if she wants to play, I'll jump in. I'll jump in and play the fighter suite. Yeah, I'll be on bad ping and I'll have packet loss, but whatever. I'll take a few deaths. All right. What else did I get? Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah, aircraft. So we just finished Ancient Fury. That's completely done. Great Wave. We're getting there too. All right, let's see. Let's go to whoops. Loadout. Sorry. Loadout vehicles. And we're on the multi-roll. So did I get everything? That remote lock in the jammer, bomb the yeah. So you got everything. Oh, okay. This is that's at 50. Okay. You know, that actually looks pretty cool. I'll put that on there. Born to Fly. All right, so let's do it. So we have we have the APEI, lock guided, plus actually rockets, active lock, and I'm gonna give my gunner the optic guided. And then we'll do number 3. This is going to be, I think I'll do the APEI again. Did I do, goodness, I gotta remember. Yeah, I did heavy rockets on that one. Heavy rockets. All right, so we'll do clusters, we'll do jammer, we'll do Optic guided. Yeah. You know what? I will say, I wish they had a naming convention. See, in the CCAT, you don't really, there's not really much to do with it. Yeah, it's not really much to do with it. Anyway, that was pretty interesting. You know the oh wait, so you know the funny thing is, I just picked this up because I was like, wait a minute, that helmet looks familiar. If anybody knows that helmet, especially a Top Gun person, anybody that knows Top Gun, they know that helmet. Everybody knows that. Hold on. They thought they were slick. They really really thought they were slick. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. So, remember this helmet, right? They thought they were slick. That's Iceman's helmet. Ace Aviator. That is Iceman. I see what. Okay, Battle. I see what you were trying to do. A little Easter egg, I guess you would say. Yeah, this Iceman. See, look. It's still the lightning. Still the Thunderbolts, and it's blue. At first I thought it was Slider, but no, Slider's his is red. That's the only difference. He has a red one. You can say, let's see, Slider, Top Gun, which is his backseater. Where's his helmet? This is Slider's, because he's the backseater, so his is red. But yeah, Iceman, his is blue. Ain't that something? That's crazy. That is crazy. All right then. Well, Chad, I hate to leave you, but I got to get some sleep because then I got to get up and do the I got to get up and do EWC and everything, but for sure tomorrow I'll be on earlier, no hiccups or anything, and then we're going to play we'll play some more Battlefield. We'll try to get all the points knocked out. We'll try to get all the rewards for the Top Gun thing using the you know what I'm saying, doing the gauntlet match. We'll do that. So but I'm gonna head out. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Laters. Twitch, we'll go raid somebody. We'll go raid Rue. Wherever she's at. Yep, we'll go raid her. All right. Yeah, we'll go raid her. But yeah, I appreciate everybody.